So, Lindsay Lohan is in prison right now, and there's been a lot of media coverage of this. I've also seen in the media a lot of what the Germans call Schadenfreude. It's a term for taking pleasure in another person's pain, because there's something about the ego that loves to build people up and tear them down. And that process of, finding it joyful and amusing when other people are having problems, it gets us away from a more conscious, compassionate perspective. And I might have extra empathy for Lindsay because we both share the same birthday, July 2nd, along with Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm and Herman Hesse, who wrote lots of great books such as Siddhartha. So on some level, I think I relate with all those people I share a birthday with. With Lindsay, I also have a dysfunctional family that I'm trying to, recover from. And I also, with Larry David, relate to pointing out ego and using humor to expose dysfunctional human patterns. And Herman Hesse, I really resonate with his spiritual writing, and so there's a little coincidence with the July 2nd thing. So I feel that with Lindsay in jail, or prison now actually, a lot of people can just say, well, look at how irresponsible she was. But I think that this lack of responsibility could be an unconscious attempt to put herself in prison. She could have avoided the behaviors that put her back in prison or whatever, but she perhaps needed a break from everything. Because it used to be, before the internet, you didn't hear a lot about celebrities. You'd have to get a magazine, you'd have to get a People magazine or something like that, National Enquirer. And now it's saturated. But there was a time before cable news in which you just didn't hear constant reports about what celebrities were up to. And so this constant exposure, being seen all the time, I think that it can really get people out of balance. And sometimes prison is their, prison or rehab is their only refuge. So it could be that, other celebrities, Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie, etc., who have ended up in prison, they're taking a break from insanity. And whether it's conscious or not, they're forcing themselves to get in touch with their own feelings. When you're in isolation and you don't have the distractions that are available to you in this modern world, you're going to feel your stuff, anything that's suppressed. And her issues with substance abuse that have been integral in landing her in prison for violation of her probation terms or whatever, this is something that I think really affects a lot of people, substance abuse, but they cover it up. I mean, alcohol, it's incredible how much that's used everywhere. So many small towns don't even have a grocery store, that they have a liquor store. It's like this lifeblood for coping, because people are so out of alignment with who they really are. They haven't felt their stuff or dealt with their unfinished business and confronted their relationships directly. And so substance abuse is a big thing. And coffee, I read a review the other day from research about how people who drink coffee are no more alert than those who don't. They're basically, the study showed, just pushing away the withdrawal effects because they're addicted. But, you can take coffee and wine, and it's just, there's a classy element to it. It's not like, other forms of speed or other kind. It's not like heroin or something like that. It's part of culture. And it's almost irrelevant as to whether or not your thing is coffee, cigarettes, alcohol, prescription medications, or food, sugar, whatever you get high on or escape through. It's really about dealing with pain, looking at existential issues that that are beneath the surface, existential in terms of what is the meaning of your life, and are you living with integrity? So it's not just the celebrities who have problems with drinking or drugs, and it's looking within ourselves and seeing how do we escape ourselves, how do we escape our feelings, because celebrities, they can remind us of our own dreams and aspirations to make it big, and maybe we're frustrated on some level because our lives are, people don't care so much about our lives as they do about celebrities, so that can be part of wanting to tear people down who are famous, is because we're jealous on an ego level. But whether we live a simple life or a life that is very much in the spotlight, either way we have to make peace with ourselves. And I think relationships have a lot to do with that. Like Lindsay Lohan's father is not welcome in the jail cell, and she has the right to set the boundary like that. And we all have boundaries that need to be set. It is impossible, although we desire on a certain level to be liked by everyone, it is a foolish and childish desire to have, because you cannot authentically be yourself and be liked by everyone. For example, if you're pro-choice, there's going to be some pro-life people that hate you. And whatever you stand for, there's going to be other people that hate what you stand for. And so we have to learn to accept that we're not going to get along with everybody. And in that process of accepting that, we're going to have to set boundaries with people who are not respectful, who do not reciprocate, who are not authentic and communicating from a love space, open-hearted space with us, and just release and open up space for more positive relationships. Because out of all the various distractions that there are in this world and all the various forms of media that you can take in, I think it all pales in comparison to the importance of relationships. And sometimes life provides us with situations where we really need to get in touch with ourselves and spend a little time in our own prison cell, so to speak, and get to know ourselves so we can have more authentic relationships. And in other words, before you can attract that which nourishes you on a deeper level, you have to understand yourself. You have to do healing. And there are so many distractions, not just through substance use or abusing food or whatever, but constant exposure through the media. It's everywhere. The internet, phones, television, radio, etc., etc., etc. So deal with your stuff, and you can release yourself from your own isolation.